Hello there, I'm Nathalia Melo, your Unfiltered Fit BFF. Mom of two turned CEO of a fitness empire. Someone who truly understands the struggles of trying to stay fit, sane, and sexy, all while juggling work, life, and motherhood. And this is the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. Follow along wherever you're listening and join me weekly as I help busy working moms just like you simplify your fitness journey so you can lose fat, regain your confidence, and feel sexy AF. It's time to stop living in the what ifs and hiding from the cameras. It's time to regain control over your body, feel sexy naked, and wear a bikini confidently. People already see you as a super confident woman, but it's time for you to feel the same way too. Come on, let's go. Hello there, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. I'm Nathalia Melo, your host. And today is our 100th episode, which I am so excited about it. And today I'm going to have Jen be my co-host because we're doing something different. For this episode, to celebrate being the 100th episode, Jen is going to be asking me some questions that our community has sent over. And some of the questions are her own. I have no idea what the questions are. I have not seen the questions. So if there is anything that is absolutely unhinged, it didn't have my approval, but I'm here for it. I'm going to be as surprised as everybody else. Hi, Jen.
Hello. Congratulations on the success of the podcast. This is amazing. Golf clap in the background.
Golf clap.
Just so we are aware, I was also instructed not to open the questions either until right now. So as I'm eyeballing them,
Oh, Jesus.
this should get entertaining.
Oh, geez. And just as a side note, let me Google here real quick how many podcasts get to 100 episodes, because I think it is a very low percentage. Yeah, 5.36% of podcasts reach 100 episodes. How cool is that?
Significant because it's a lot of work. People don't realize how much goes into it. So kudos to you for putting in that amazing, diligent effort. Again, bravo, golf clap in the background.
We'd be winging, and then people are listening. I'm like, okay, maybe my nonsense is resonating with people, so let's kind of keep on doing it. And I think that this needs to be a kudo, not just to me, but like you have been doing a lot of the episodes with me once a month for the past few months, and to the listeners as well. This is not a celebration, I think, just for me, for us, but I think it's for us collectively, for the listeners as well, because without them, I wouldn't have gotten here. I wouldn't have stayed up late to record podcasts or done a lot of research because I get messages from them telling me that it's being very valuable. So it's our celebration, everybody. It's our 100th episode.
Bravo, encore.
All right. So are you ready for the questions?
Are you ready? Eeny, meeny, miny, whoa. Which one to start with? Do I go in number order or I just go?
You just go.
Okay. Let's start with something funny. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done to impress someone?
Oh my goodness. Funniest thing that I've done to impress someone. Like relationship wise, I think it was more when I met Roger. There is a full episode on how we met. And basically, I used to bartend. Roger walked in. I couldn't stand anybody that came to the bar because he was always the same things like, hey, what's up, girl? And Roger gave me there was none of it. And it was a very classy martini bar. And we used to wear these corsets. And I legit was like, hey, going to the bathroom, fixing the boobs and nothing. He didn't even bat an eyelid. And I'm like, what is happening? And then he laughed. So I think that would be the most. And then from a work perspective, in that same place that I worked, I didn't have a lot of experience bartending, but I am persistent as hell. So it was a place that a lot of people wanted to work in because there was good money to be made. There was a wait list for people to work there. And I was like, I'm going to get their attention by showing up. And I literally would get my girlfriends every single Wednesday for over a year. And I would stop by there, make sure that I walked in front of the manager. I'd be like, hey, what's up? I wanted to stay top of mind. You worked because eventually they got me a job. It was a shitty shift, but I got in. And that's where I worked for 6 years. So those would be the two situations, obviously different. One was romantic and the other one was more work related, but that's where we're at.
All right. So this is going to compound on top of that because someone would love to know what the most embarrassing moment you've experienced ever was.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Where would we begin? Oh, I have one that haunts me until this day. So I was doing a seminar in Moscow. Like there were hundreds of people in the room. I think there were like 150, 200 people, like packed. They were so excited to see me. And it was right after I won the Olympia. And you could see that sometimes people were even like a bit afraid to get next to me, like so many gifts. So I'm doing the seminar, and it was right at the time that people start talking more about the hip thrust exercise.
Oh, God.
Yes. Like internationally, a lot of people still weren't really sure what the hip thrust was because it was just kind of like becoming popular. So I go to show what the hip thrust is on a plastic fucking chair. Room full of people, 200 people. I ate it flat on my ass. I fell on my ass bone and I had to get up and be like, nothing to see here. We're good. And I could barely walk. The show must go on. But I will never forget that. I was mortified, like mortified.
Okay. So I think we're just going to keep the ball rolling with like embarrassing type situations. Apparently,
Oh,
everybody wants
geez.
to put you on the spot.
I'm so clumsy that I'm not surprised. Like, I'm so clumsy, I can have probably like embarrassing stories until the end of time.
Well, then let's add this one. Have you ever farted in a situation where you 100% should not have?
Oh my God.
How old are we?
Have I? I remember though, like the first time that I traveled with Roger, and he's very British, like everything's very discreet. And I'm like, my first concern was like, how am I going to go to the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell am I going to go to the bathroom? So it wasn't so much like the farting, but it was like, how am I going to go to the bathroom? Like, am I going to go to the gym bathroom? The bed was right next to the bathroom as well. So there was a whole like event that had to
Mm-hmm.
transpire. Like you turn the water on and you turn the tap on and then you poop very quickly and then you get up and you're like, and then like you try to, spray perfume, but then it just becomes perfume with the smell of shit. Like you was an event, like honestly. But farting, I don't think I've ever farted in front of anybody.
I don't mean to laugh so hard, but your entire display of what it translates to is so accurate and high. Mind you, remember, I've spoken about being single. And what happens when you're in a hotel room where the bathroom is not in, where there's a sink?
Oh, the worst because they know you're there taking a shit. If you're there more than 2 minutes, you are 100% taking a shit. Like, here's the thing. It's the worst if like you don't know how the flush of the hotel room works. So, you just go like that tap because if it's in your house, just the one tap, but there isn't enough water and you're like, fuck, I'm going to have to flush it again. If people outside know what you're up to, if you flush that shit twice, they know. They know what's happening.
Oh, goodness. Why is it bowel movements always bring such humor? Okay. Okay. Have you ever been caught doing something you shouldn't have been doing?
I have. Whenever I crashed my mom's car when I was about like 10, does that count? Let me explain. Can I elaborate on it? Am I allowed?
Please.
So, growing up in Brazil, a lot of people live in tall rises. It's safer and all that jazz. So, whenever you get home from the supermarket, it's a bit of a hassle because you have to pick stuff up and drag it from the car to the elevator, from the elevator to your kitchen. And so I can't remember exactly how old I was. I like 10, 11, something along the lines. And the parking garages are normally on the underground where there's all the pillars for the foundation of the building. Okay? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so, a lot of these spots are like just enough for you to fit the car. And my mom was used to always kind of like reverse the car very close to elevator. So it was a closer walk. You basically would take from the trunk, put it in the elevator. And this one day, she was like, I have to go. And my stepdad came, picked her up. And then she goes, I'm going to leave you here, unloading the car, and then you take everything upstairs. And then she parked in her actual spot, which was far away from the elevator. I'm like, say less, gotcha. My head was already, I'm like, I got it. How hard can it be? Side note, it wasn't an automatic car. It was a manual stick shift. And I just thought that it was like playing Mario Karts. You just push the gas and off you go, like change the gears. I hit because I didn't have the control to take my foot off the clutch and push the gas in a coordinated manner. So every time that I tried, it stalled. And every time that it stalled, it took a chunk of the pillars that were the foundation of the building and took about half the side of my mom's car.
Oh, we played bumper cars.
Oh, yeah. In the neighbor's car. Yeah, there was that part too. So I'm like, yeah, this endeavor is not going to work. So I got all the bags, put it in the elevator, went upstairs, and acted like nothing happened. Just another day. The next day, when my mom found out, I think I was grounded for like 50 years. The ass whooping that I experienced, unmatched. Yeah, I was a bit traumatized from like of driving after that episode. But yeah, that's how I got caught. And I got caught because there were cameras in the underground and the impacts were so big that like the building kind of shook a little bit. So the security guy that stayed in the ground level, he felt it. And then he looked at the camera and he saw me playing go-kart with my mom's car.
Stop. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh yeah, you were not my finest moment.
We're going to pivot a little bit, but we're going to piggyback onto that thought process as far as childhood goes. What's one thing about your childhood that shaped how you show up in your family today?
I was raised by a single mom. And so I think that she couldn't be in a lot of things that I had, a lot of events, a lot of practices and things like that. Nurture, and I think as a culture, like the culture in my family wasn't to be like very sporty and see value in physical activity and a healthy lifestyle. So I think that watching that and seeing how much me deciding to take care of my health, and even though at the time it was more from an aesthetic standpoint rather than a healthy standpoint, I think that shaped on how I nurture things with my kids now, even like the language, and we have a whole episode on that. And you guys, we can link in the show notes the whole, oh, this is bad food. Oh, you're looking so fat or you're looking so skinny. Because I know how it stays with me up until now. And we speak with so many of our members who are like, I don't know, like 60, 70 years old, and they still remember what their parents said when they were so young. So that's something that I'm very intentional with my children and with my family to do differently.
I'm going to compound on top of that too.
Please do.
Staying within your younger self,
Mm.
what would you tell your younger self during that time where you chose to take care of yourself? And regardless of the reasons why, would there be any pieces of advice you would give your younger self now?
Oh, this is such a good question. I think being in a Latino household, looking at fitness as a career, it's almost like a bit of a laughingstock. Not so much now, I think, because business is growing in Brazil and Latin America. But at the time, it was kind of like you can either be a doctor or a lawyer, the end. So whenever I showed interest in being involved with anything fitness related, it was always kind of like, absolutely not. So I think that the conversation would be kind of like, keep on going. This is going to become something. And I think that it is such a privilege to get to do what you love, because I think we hear so much about people that do a job that they hate every second of it. And I think we are so, I hate saying we're so blessed. I hate saying that, but we truly are so fortunate that we get to do what we love every single day. And that's not to say that every day is rainbow and butterflies. Sometimes I want to slap people in the face and shake them and be like, you can do this. I feel like You never know that if what you're doing is going to get you somewhere, especially like fitness related in a culture that doesn't appreciate it as much at the time. It's kind of like,
Right.
what's the point? So I think that the resilience that he built, you'd be almost like take notes of who you're becoming in the process.
Oh, I love that.
Take notes of who you're becoming in the process, the lessons that you're learning that you can transfer from the weight room or from the habits that you're developing to who you're going to be and the things that you're going to do and the work ethic that you're going to present with.
I love that statement right there. If you could talk to your younger self specifically to the time period where you were competing in the Olympia and the Arnold, any pieces of advice you would give yourself looking back now?
And I know that that's not the question, but I'm going to rephrase with this. I don't like to look at anything as a regret or could have, would have, should have, because I don't think that I would have such a strong opinion about the things that are wrong and the things that could be done better. I wouldn't be where I am today if you weren't for the opportunities that I had then. And I think that I wouldn't have a lot of my personality traits that were enhanced with the person that I had to become in order to accomplish that. Like, not many people in the planet can say that they have accomplished that.
Mhm.
So I think it is a very exclusive bunch of folks. But I feel like if were to give advice, would be it is okay to ask more questions and to, I was very, very fortunate to have phenomenal mentors throughout the process that helped me see the forest for the trees and separate that because there is a lot of over sexualization of especially young women, which that's who I was at the time. And whenever you see everybody around you doing that, it's almost like that's what you have to do in order to succeed and to
Mhm.
accomplish it. And listen, like I'm not a prude, but I feel like there are things that make you comfortable and there are things that don't make you comfortable. And it is perfectly okay to draw a line and set a boundary on things that make you uncomfortable. And I have taken photos, and which it's funny to today's standards, some of the photos that I took back then, people will be like, what is it that you're like feeling uncomfortable about that? Like everybody does that now. But there are photos that I took that I look back and I'm like, I didn't feel comfortable. Like
Okay.
I would like to have said no. And I think that after that experience and speaking with some very good mentors, they assured me, they were like, you don't need to do that to be successful. You do not need to agree to everything. It is okay to set boundaries. And I think, especially whenever we're talking about over sexualization, I want to be very emphatic. I am not a prude, like, not at all. I think that there are some things that you need to be very mindful of what you're doing from kinds of photographs, kind of website that you're willing to put your photos on. Because if you are someone who eventually wants to have like kids, a family, like, is this something that you'd be proud to rock into, your grandpa's or grandma's living room with? Is it something that you'd want your teenage child to have in be mocked on? And I think that that was another thing. Whenever I started dating my now husband, I was very cognizant of he was in a very testosterone like driven kind of sports. He was a
Sure.
professional rugby player. It's like, oh yeah, like I didn't want to be the locker room talk.
Hmm.
Like I didn't want to disrespect him that way. He never gave a shit.
But that speaks to your character, that you were taking into consideration, of course, of how it would affect others around you at that present time, not even the future focus, but at that present time too. So that's a piece of your heart.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
So I think that that would be the advice that I would give like my younger self. I feel like I did a pretty
Mhm.
decent job, but you always do the job not knowing what the aftermath or the consequences of that will be. So the advice would be like, you're fine, you're good. You can say no. It is okay to say no.
Right. And I think that's a major takeaway that so many of the younger population doesn't recognize, that they just have to follow the masses, right, with certain things and think that because one person is doing it, they should also, not realizing that those boundaries actually speaks to potential greater success and confidence. But that's for another day and time. Okay, let's go funny again. Embarrassing drunk story.
Drunk?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
But are you to remember those embarrassing ones though, if you're drunk?
Oh my God. Embarrassing drunk memories. I do have one. It's not funny, but it's just a reminder that I'm getting old. Like, does that work? Like, I remember when I was like very young and I used to work every Saturday from like 8 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. It was carnage. And at the time, I was in law school. So in Brazil, the way that it works is like I would go to law school in the morning. So university, I would be done at like 12:30. You start very early. And then I would work from 1 to 9 because it was like 8 hour shift. And then after that, I would go to the gym.
Mhm.
So I had very little time for like to socialize and be things. So Friday, gloves were off. I just forgot the little detail that I had to work the next day at 8. Just this minor like inconvenience. And I remember so vividly this friend of mine taking me home and I'm like hanging like a rag doll, a dead body out of the window of his car. And I look over and it's like white, the whole side. And this is 7:30. I had to be at work at 8. I don't know if you know this. Did you know that I taught English in a private English school?
No.
Yes, that's what I did. I did that for quite a few years because in Brazil, not a lot of people spoke English. So if you were a little bit better, you were a teacher.
Oh my goodness.
That's the good old saying. It's like, you're never too smart to not learn and never too stupid to not teach. There you go. Perfect example. I had been an exchange student, so I could sing Linkin Park song and get all the words right. You're like, hired. She's perfect.
Lincoln Park, no less. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. You start with one thing. I don't know what. That one. Anyway, so so I was teaching English at the time. And in this school, we were not allowed as the teachers to speak Portuguese to teach English. So we could not make any translations. Whenever you're shit faced, that doesn't work in your brain.
No.
Yeah. And I had all these people looking at me and I like, you could smell the alcohol coming out of my hair. My hair was sweating alcohol. But I survived. I made it. But I never, ever got home at 7:30 to be at work at 8, ever again.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, and another fun fact about me, I taught English.
That I find that fascinating. Okay. Okay. Have you ever sent a message to the wrong person? And what did it say?
Oh my God, yes. 100%. I am ADHD. So this is like every day of my existence. Like I do that on Slack all the time.
True story.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, oopsie doodle. I don't know which one would be the most embarrassing because there have been so many. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you because that is a normal occurrence in my day.
I think that's normal for everybody nowadays. Like, oh, not meant for you. Delete. What's your caught in the act story? I'm assuming this means caught in the act of booty.
Did I ever have anything like that? I have to think for a moment. Did I ever get caught having some hanky panky? No, I think that like, especially like growing up, I was a late bloomer on that department, just as a side note, like very late. TMI, apologize. But I was always petrified of getting caught by my mom because she would whoop my ass regardless of what age I was. Monumentally whoop my ass with whatever was available. Belt, wooden spoon, flip flops, leather flip flops, don't care. So I think I was always very strategic with my things. So I don't, I mean, does getting caught by your children count?
No, I think that's standard. You're supposed to. That's like leads into the birds and bees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like kind of traumatizing. Like you're there, the kids are, why is the door not I locked? What is happening? What are you doing? Shut the fuck up.
Mommy and daddy need a minute. Mommy and daddy need a minute. Just one.
What is happening? Let me in.
And then you look at your husband, you're like, oh, forget it. Just I give up. I give up.
And you look all disheveled, and then eventually they come back in. Why do you not have your clothes on? What is happening? You take a shower? Guys, I apologize for all this preaching, by the way.
Well, everybody's been there. Listen, been there, done that, got that t-shirt.
I do remember catching my mom and my stepdad in the act, and I am mildly traumatized by it. I think that that's why I'm so cognizant of that with my kids, because I remember and I am like scarred.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. I'm stumbling for words here, obviously.
I did not enjoy it.
Do you talk to yourself in the mirror? What do you say?
I don't do that as much right now because I live with my husband. But I remember whenever I was competing, I would write quotes all around my mirror, like my bathroom mirror with a lipstick. My cleaners loved it. They adored it. But yeah, I had all around my mirror, like they were like motivational quotes and things like that. I do have some things in my bathroom that are like more framed stuff because I don't want to write in the mirror with lipstick. But I do believe in positive, like manifestation, whatever you want to call prayer, is speaking in a way that it's as if you were already real. I'm a big believer
Mhm.
of that. You list out what the things that you're grateful for today, and it doesn't matter what they are, how big or small. I think that practicing continuous gratitude is incredibly important. And then you sprinkle one or two things that you're grateful for that you don't have, but you write it or you speak
Mhm.
as if you did. I don't necessarily like speak and shout because my kids and my husband would probably be like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" But I do write them down.
Is there any one that you remember in particular that you hold on to still today?
There was one by Zig Ziglar. I'm going to butcher a little bit, but it's like motivation is like a shower. You need it daily. This is kind of like the catchiest one, but there were other like deeper ones. It's interesting. There, I went through a phase, and I know that it's going to sound cheesy, but whenever I was like in my competing season, I remember that I bought The Secret movie and I legit watched it every single night.
I don't know what movie that is.
The Secret, like the book, The Secret as well, is like about manifesting the things that you like, that you want for your life. One thing that I didn't appreciate as much is that a lot of it was very financially focused. Everything was just about the money. And listen, I got nothing about money. I'd like to have a comfortable life. But I think that there were other things that they could have talked about as well that were beyond just financial accomplishments. But it really helped me see things differently and create motivational boards and things like that.
Okay. Tell us about a time you confidently said something but were completely wrong.
Oof. I think the beginning of my career as a coach, I almost sometimes want to call everybody that I met back then. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean what I said. I was full of shit. Can you relate to that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, I used to live by never bullshit a bullshitter. And now I just don't do that anymore.
I feel like that's one of the biggest parts of growth and one of the biggest, most important things about having the experience that we do have is that we know that we don't know everything and we're constantly open to learning and getting better and getting help and investing courses. You are, on your second master's degree. I just finished a course through Harvard Medical School and I'm already looking at another one.
Hmm.
I feel like as you evolve, you start to realize that you don't know everything. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems that I had. And I think a lot of people might relate to this is that whenever you first start something, there is that ignorance is bliss kind of mentality. And you don't acknowledge that you don't know what you don't know. So you get very much stuck in your own way. And I think, especially with the type of coaching that we had in our competition days, that was very cult like,
Yeah.
that even like told you, oh, if anybody tells you that what you're doing is wrong, they want you to die. Like I'm being dramatic, but you know what I'm saying? So I think that I've said a lot of things from, a fitness perspective that I am not ashamed to admit that I almost want to call some of them people. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm a much better person now. I swear to God. I swear.
I sit there and a lot of people will confidently say people don't change. And I say that's nonsense. No, people do change when they absolutely want to change and they're willing to sit there and put the effort
Hmm.
in to change. So I think that's an
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss statement. Okay. Biggest pet peeve in general, like one that brings you to the brink of snapping and makes your eye twitch.
I have so many. I'm such a petty bitch. I have a laundry list of things that piss me off, and I will go out of my way to be petty about it. So let me see. In a more serious note, I really struggle with people that have a victim mentality. Like that shit pisses me off. It's like always that state of victimhood is like, is the universe's fault. And I'm not even talking just about fitness. I'm talking about life in general. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, it's everybody's fault. Oh, I lost my job 5 times just this year. Like they were all assholes. I'm like, you are the common denominator. It might be time to do a little bit of a self assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Like victimhood pisses me off, like really. And I don't know if he comes from moving here and starting from scratch and having to make things happen and understand that everything is possible if you show up repeatedly. It might not be the first time that you show up, might not be the second. Like example, the story that I said about the job that I showed up for like, I don't know, over a year, every single Wednesday with my girls and was like, hello, everybody. It's persistent. Imagine I had gone once and be like, see, oh my God, I'm like so unqualified. Nobody wants me. No, keep on showing up until you get it. But it's a choice that you get. So victimhood annoys me.
Mm.
Lying, like triggers me a lot as well. Even with with my kids, like they know that it would take me off a lot if they lie. So that was another one. But now in a more like in a lighter note, people that do things slowly.
And meanwhile, you moved down south.
Ah, like they're driving slow. Oh no, people in Texas drive like criminals. I'm all about it. Like you get on a highway in Texas, I've cried on the highway here because people were like, next to me. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I survived. But yeah, people that drive slowly annoy me. You know, people that speak very slowly. And I'm like, can I put you in like 1.25 speed, 1.5? Asking for myself. Yeah, like the people who speak very slowly and walk slowly. If I'm behind someone who's walking slowly, I will like find my way out and I'll give the dirty look too. What are you doing? Obviously, I'm not talking about someone who is, who has trouble walking or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'll be respectful of that. But if you're just walking slow, like because you got nothing to do, I mean, I got places to be. Adios, motherfucker.
I can't guarantee I would discriminate against anybody walking slowly. Listen, remember, I worked in Manhattan, though, and you walk at your own risk.
Yeah, and the driving slowly, I can't. Or my husband does this, it pisses me off.
Poor Roger.
Ooh. We're coming to a red light, okay? 2 lanes. One side has 1 car. The other side has 7 cars. Where does he go?
7.
Behind the 7th car. I'm like, why? I need answers. What are you doing? Go to the other side. He's like, but we're not in a rush. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's faster. He's like, it's going to save like 15 seconds. And I'm like, exactly.
It's still time.
15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it kills me.
Okay. What's the most childish thing you still do?
Oh, you're cute. I can be petty. I'll say the things that everybody want to say, but they don't say. And a lot of times it comes out of my mouth before my brain can process, which is not good. But yeah, sometimes I think to myself, if God wanted me to be the bigger person, he would have made me 6 foot tall. I'm 5'5" for a reason. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Fair. Okay. It's definitely fair. What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled?
Honestly, my Google search is unhinged in the sense that nothing makes sense. But I think also because of the ADHD, I go down rabbit holes because I got to know things. Like I have to know, and I'm nosy. So I'm just going to keep on Googling. And then there is like 75 tabs because I don't want to lose the information from that first Google search. So I get the information from this Google search and then I start another Google search and then it just keeps on opening the rabbit holes. Like, I don't even know what would be the weirdest, but they are weird.
Okay. So takeaway from this one, guys, if you ever need some FBI work done, you know where to go.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to go down that rabbit hole for you.
Oh, yeah. I'll be the person. I'm that friend. We write it down.
And if y'all trying to hide something and you think it's not going to be found out, guess what? You came to the wrong party. You need to see yourself out real quick. Do you and your partner train or eat the same way, or are you total opposites? If you're different, how do you navigate that without causing tension?
Roger and I are very in line with how we eat. If the way you eat, especially if you're trying to better yourself, is bothering your partner, I don't think you have a nutrition and fitness problem. You have a marriage problem.
I was going to say that entire concept of opposites attract, I don't think it works in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways, like for example, I'm the PR of my family. Like I talk for five and Roger talks for none. So I do the talking for both of us. You see what I'm saying? So we're very opposite that way. But I think as far as like lifestyle and the things that we value are fairly similar, especially if you're trying to better yourself and feel better in your body and things like that, and your partner cannot understand that. It's a deeper problem.
Absolutely. Is there anything right now that you would change about yourself if you had the magic wand to do so? And any area of your life, if it's physical self, location, anything at all, if you had the magic wand to poof, have it be changed.
I mean, right now at this second, I would love to be in a yacht in the Mediterranean drinking champagne.
Take me with you.
Yeah. So I would love to be slightly more patient. It's a work in progress. I think because we love what we do so much, there is the whole compartmentalize. I'm like, I can't because the same person that is showing up to help people is the person who is going to make dinner. I'm not two separate people.
Mhm.
I would love to have some kind of superpower where I could not be personally and emotionally invested as much in certain scenarios, when you see someone who is in a situation that that is not optimal and you can see it and you're like you just want to shake the person. And that really stays with me a lot longer than I would like to admit. I think because I believe so much in what we do. I believe so much in the transformations that we have created. I know how much value it brings to people's lives. And I think that passion is the same passion that a lot of people feel maybe attracted to, but at the same time, it is something that stays with me when I cannot help everybody.
Yeah, I hear that way too loud and clear. Okay. What's the worst date you've ever been on?
Oh, got you,
Okay.
boo. Say less. So I started dating this guy. Okay. And first of all, I look in the back of his car and he has every single magazine. I think we talked about that I had been on. Creepy. Not okay. And I actually made a post about this on social media. And people are like, oh my God, women don't know what they want. And I'm like, yeah, I want somebody who likes me for who I am, not for the magazines that I've been on. Not the same, buddy.
Hmm.
You can be proud without walking around and parading me to all your boys.
Hmm.
Anyhow, so this mofo, and he was wealthy. So shows up with a chauffeur to pick me up and blah, blah, blah. We go to a Michelin star restaurant and he pulls out a coupon.
Stop.
A coupon to a Michelin star restaurant while arriving with a chauffeur. I died. And this was like a first date. These are like obviously the magazines came after, but that is the same guy. And again, I don't care if I don't even like Michelin star restaurants because I think you're there just to look at food, not to kill your hunger. I'm not about it. Give me the tacos from the freaking gas station. They're delicious. I'm here for it. But if you're going to take me on a first date and you want to flex and show up with like a chauffeur and all that jazz, do not be pulling up a coupon. Oh, it's one of my clients that gave me I'm like, no. Oh, because he owns, I don't care who gave it to you. No. So yeah, that was that.
Maybe that's why he has so much money because he uses coupons.
Yeah. And again, that no shade to coupons. I love coupons. But if there are any guys listening to this, do not take a woman on a first date and pull out a coupon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I need that recorded just for myself, please, and I can put it on my dating profile. May I? May I?
Thank you. But it needs to go with the thank you. And then thank you.
100%.
Oh my God. Hold on. I have to tell you this other part of the story because it's kind of like hilarious. So he sends me a grocery list. Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, you're going to the grocery store? I'm not talking about, hey, can you bring a gallon of milk? Mm-mm. I'm talking about like a grocery list that this mofo wanted me to like go grocery shopping for his home.
see, when you said grocery list, I was like, wait, what? Of
No, no,
what?
no. And we had specificity. Perrier water, lemon lime flavor, not the store brand. It needs to be Perrier. Pecorino Romano cheese, like a full list. I'm like, bro, you're looking for a wife? I ain't it right now. I'm not about it. And I disappeared and he showed up at my work acting all surprised. He called me from like different numbers and he's like, what happened? I've been so worried. I even told my grandma that you disappeared. I'm like, I've never met her, bro. What do you mean?
He showed up. He's like, yo, babe, where's my gallon of milk?
Like weird. What is happening?
Oh, okay. All right. We got two more to go.
Okay.
What's the hardest part about being a parent that no one prepared you for?
I feel like it's romanticized far too much. Like people
Yep.
romanticize like parenthood. It's this beautiful thing, and then you just pop them and you immediately fall in love. And I'm gonna be honest, and I might get some heat for it, but I didn't immediately fall in love with my kids the moment that they came out. Because I think that you love the child because you know that you created it, but it's not like that, oh my God, I'll do anything. I feel like you're still getting to know each other. And at the same time, especially if you are someone who is independent and you've been doing your thing, there is also, I think, the grief of the loss of independence, of the ability to come and go. And whenever people romanticize parenthood as this like beautiful, amazing thing, the end, without also thoroughly acknowledging that it is very challenging and that you are going to have to become a whole new person and shed parts of who you are and replace that with something else. And I don't think that the grief of who you were and not loving your children unconditionally are like mutually exclusive. You can love your kid and still grieve who you were.
Absolutely. It's so well said, too. And also just trying to figure out how to actually be a parent because you didn't, you weren't one prior to. So, how do you even be one? How do
Yeah.
you become one? No one teaches you.
Yeah.
And especially depending on the upbringing you come from, there's no manual.
Yeah. Like you might just know what it is that you don't want to do, but you're still left with the fill in the blank pieces of like, what is it that I do want to do?
Yeah. And then let's take it to a physical perspective. From a female perspective, your body is no longer yours. It's doing things you never expected it to do from pregnancy straight through labor and then postpartum. You're trying to figure out how to even possibly walk again. I mean, there's so many different facets that you just nobody ever explains.
Yeah. And I want to make it very clear whenever I say the child doesn't pop out and you're like immediately like this blind love. I love my children. I would do anything. I think that goes without saying, but I want to establish because people love to twist words. I love my kids with all my heart. But I believe that, like most relationships, it's almost like a little bit of a process, especially in the beginning, that they're just like there.
Absolutely. And the other thing that a lot of people don't ever speak to clearly is we have children, yes, to be an extension of ourselves, a reflection of ourselves, but we also have children to ultimately raise them to leave us.
Hmm.
So there's that constant internal tug of war that we have because we want to love them unconditionally and give them absolutely everything, but at the same time, create independent, respectful, responsible individuals that you end up liking, that you actually like as a person too.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of those really hard places that we find ourselves in as parents.
Yeah. I find parenthood very difficult. And this is me being as vulnerable as I can be. I think that also, especially because you don't know how well you're doing until basically until they are, I don't know, like 16, 17, 18, even older than that. So you're putting in the work without even knowing if you're really going in the right direction. I think every parent here wants the best for their kids. It's kind of like, is what I'm doing is it the right way to do? Like, are they going to become better people because I'm doing this way, which is differently than the things that I saw negatively from when I was growing up? Like, I don't know. Call me back whenever they're like 25 and then I might be able to tell you. So this uncertainty kind of like freaks me out a bit about it.
When you figure it out, let me know.
Mhm.
Okay. Last question, and let's end it on the lightest note, I guess. Your fondest childhood memory.
I have quite a few. I remember that I used to get myself lost on purpose in the shopping center so I could have the security guy call my mom. 100% true story. I already knew where he was, and I was just like so smug. And I remember my mom's name is Swilly. Miss Swilly, please come get your child at the security point in the Y and Z shopping center. And my mom would come. She already knew. I'm like, what's up? I also used to travel by myself a lot, like from when I was very young, like by plane, because my family were in 2 different states. And I would terrorize the flight attendants, terrorize them. I asked so many questions. And one time they kind of like, there was nobody watching me. And I'm like, ain't nobody going to come get me? Say less, boo. I got myself. And I'm like 6 or 7. I'm Chloe's age. I got my suitcase. I got out of the plane by myself in another state. And then I got my suitcase, picked up my suitcase, and I knew my mom's phone number by heart. And I looked around, there was nobody to pick me up. And I'm like, bummer. So I go to a telephone and I start to call my mom from the payphone. But because we were in a different state, there needed to be a different area code. That's how it is in Brazil. And he kept on going to the dead end. So eventually my aunt who was supposed to pick me up found me and she lost her shit. But yeah, I was living my best independent life. And I even like brought some snacks for my aunt from the airplane that obviously leaked into my backpack, but the intention was there.
Okay, so if there's ever a time that you think Nathalia can't do it, guess what? She's already been there, done that, got that t-shirt too, and try her again. Pose that challenge, please.
Yep. And that's the thing that scares me whenever my mom said, I can't wait until you have a daughter and she acts just like you. I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready.
What is Chloe?
She's me. And she says it. Like whenever she acts up and I'm like, Roger, where does she get it from? And she goes, where do you think? You.
And you're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so that concludes the question and answer portion of your 100th episode.
I love these questions. Jen, thank you so much for doing this episode with me, being the co-host, asking the questions. The questions came to your lap just right before because Tatiana, who is our operations, wanted everybody to be as surprised as you guys listening. So I hope you enjoyed it. This was a more like lighthearted, just getting to know each other. I really wanted to do something different for this episode. So I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any feedback, if you have more questions, if you'd like to see more episodes like this. And if not, I'll see you next week. Jen, thank you so much. Adios. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. But let me ask you, what was your aha moment in today's episode? I would love to know. You can leave me a comment at the link in the show description. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram. Links are down below as well. And let me know what topics you want to hear more about or who I should have on the show. This is it for today, guys. I'll see you back next week for another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast.